When the game stepped onto the world stage, August 1936, the summer air hung heavy over Berlin, where the world had gathered for the grand spectacle of the Summer Olympics. Flags moved gently in the wind, crowds filled the city with anticipation, athletes from across. Continents walked through stadium gates carrying the weight of nations on their shoulders. And somewhere within this global moment, a quiet game prepared to take its first step onto the world stage, basketball, a game waiting for recognition. It had been 45 years since James Naismith first nailed the peach baskets onto a balcony in a small gym in Springfield. 45 years of slow growth, from empty gyms to crowded courts, from students to nations, from a winter solution to a global language. But until 1936, basketball had never truly stood among the world's greatest sports. It had been played, loved, spread across continents, but not yet recognized at the highest stage of international competition, the Olympic Games. That moment was about to change. The first Olympic tournament, from August 7th to August 14th, 1936, basketball made its official debut as an Olympic medal sport. 21 nations gathered to compete. Different languages, different cultures, different styles of play, yet all connected by the same simple idea: a ball, a basket, a shared understanding. It was the largest team sport tournament of those games, but despite the global stage, the game itself remained humble. There were no grand arenas, no polished hardwood courts. Instead, the games were played outdoors on clay and dirt tennis courts. The surface was uneven, conditions unpredictable, and the game, still young, was forced to adapt a different kind of basketball. Dribbling itself was limited by the rough surface. The ball did not bounce cleanly. Players moved carefully, adjusting to the ground beneath them, and yet the essence of the game remained passing. Positioning, patience, because basketball, even then, was never just about speed. It was about control, the rain that changed the final. The final game of the tournament became something unforgettable, not because of its score, but because of its conditions. As the championship match began, rain started to fall over Berlin. Slow at first, then heavier. The clay court turned into mud. The ball became difficult to control. Dribbling became almost impossible. Players slipped, stumbled, struggled to maintain balance. It was no longer just a game. It was endurance, adaptation, survival. And in that chaos, the score remained low. The United States defeated Canada 19-8 to win the first Olympic gold medal in basketball. A quiet score for a historic moment. The presence of the creator among the spectators that day was a man who had once stood alone in a gym trying to solve a simple problem. James Naismith. He was no longer just an instructor. He was the creator of a global game. He watched as teams from around the world played something that had once existed only as an idea in his mind. And when the tournament ended, he stepped forward to present the medals to the winning teams. It was a quiet, powerful moment, not loud, not dramatic, but deeply symbolic. The inventor, witnessing the world embrace his creation, the meaning beyond the medal. The 1936 Olympic tournament was not perfect. The courts were flawed, the weather unpredictable. The game still evolving, but perfection was never the point. What mattered was something deeper. Recognition. Basketball had stepped beyond local courts and national leagues. It had become part of something global, something shared, something permanent, the beginning of a tradition. That first Olympic tournament marked the beginning of a new chapter. From that moment forward, basketball would return to the Olympics again and again, each time evolving, each time growing, each time reaching more people. The game that had once been confined to winter gyms now belonged to the world. And every 4 years, it would remind us of its journey. The symbol of the mud court. There was something symbolic about that muddy final in Berlin. The slipping feet, the heavy ball, the struggle to move. Because it reflects something true about beginnings. They are rarely clean, rarely perfect, often uncomfortable. yet meaningful. The game did not need perfect conditions to prove its value. It only needed to be played. The quiet transformation. After 1936, basketball was no longer just growing. It was established. It had entered the global conversation. Countries began to invest more in the sport. Players began to train differently. Competitions became more organized. And slowly, the game transformed into something larger than anyone could have imagined in 1891, the return to the beginning. If you trace the journey back from Olympic arenas, from global competitions, from millions of courts across the world, you return once again to a quiet gym in Springfield, where a man stood, holding a ball, where an idea took shape, where something simple began. James Naismith did not create basketball for the Olympics. He created it for a moment, a need, a winner. But sometimes, when something is built with purpose, it travels further than intention, the final. Reflection. Some moments in history arrive with noise, with celebration, with immediate recognition. Others move quietly, growing slowly, until one day the world notices. The 1936 Olympic Games did not create basketball. They revealed it to the world. And in that moment, on a muddy court in Berlin, a simple game of passing and shooting became something more. A global story. A shared experience. A reminder that even the smallest ideas, when carried forward by people, can reach places that creators never imagined. And sometimes all it takes is one court, one game, one moment for the world to finally see.